Well, always stay tuned each week. We learn something a little bit different from all of our guests each week, and we thank all of our listeners for tuning in and coming and joining us. We're finding out that we are one of the more listened to shows here on Voice America, and so we're very excited to learn about that and hear about that. So definitely thanks to all of our many listeners that are out there. And I also want to talk a little bit about the content of our show. People tune in and listen, and sometimes things seem like they relate to each other, and sometimes they may not seem like they relate to each other. But the show overall is about the social media, about web advertising. So obviously you will hear a lot about Google and the Pinterest, Instagram, whatever the latest fads are that come out in the social media, and of course a lot about YouTube and LinkedIn and other parts of the social media. Facebook, of course, and the newest developments. And in fact, there is something for all of you Facebook users out there, Facebook users of Facebook fan pages or timeline users as businesses. Facebook has made some changes which I completely disagree with. So if Mark Zuckerberg is listening out there, I want him to listen and maybe take some action. I know that they are doing everything they can to earn money, but they are actually starting to charge to put posts to your own fans. That is completely wrong. If you compare that to Google, there's a paid search on the pay-per-click, and Google does a good job of saying, hey, if you want to zoom all the way to the front, you can bypass all that organic rendering that you have to do for search engine optimization. You can bypass all of that and get to the very top of the search engines, even above the people who are #1 on Google. You're there in the paid search advertising. That's fine. I think we all agree that they can move to the front if they pay. However, if Google began to charge even those people who organically were already ranked #1 on Google, and they began to charge them on top of them having to pay for their own search engine optimization search engine optimization company, that would be wrong because they're getting double charged for it. And in my opinion, what Facebook has done is completely off base, is completely wrong and incorrect. And they're going to find themselves having a market correction themselves. That General Motors, I probably should have checked. A very large Fortune 500 company just stopped advertising on Facebook because of similar things like this. Facebook has got to be really careful about how they handle themselves. But basically, the opt-in lists that are created by having people join your fan page with Facebook charging for you to be able to talk to your own fans, that is just completely wrong. I want to say that for the record. And you've never heard me say anything that emphatically, I think, but it is completely wrong. Okay, so that is the social media travesty of the week. And now we want to talk a little bit about our advertisers that we have at Planet Beach on 59th Avenue in Berend. They are a wonderful place to go get tanning, or if you want to have a hydro-bed massage, or things that basically a non-med spa. They don't do anything medical there, but they do some facials and things like that. So it's a wonderful place for you to go, and you pay a fee a monthly fee, and you can go get unlimited use of Planet Beach. So go up there and try them out. Also, located a little bit south of there is Glendale Flowers, and we actually have some more flowers for our guest, if I don't get too in trouble for giving more flowers to our guests. But we will be giving that on the next segment. So make sure you go by Glendale Flowers, also on about 59th Avenue in Glendale, here in Arizona. And then Crescendo, which is ranked in the top 10 in the world for search engine optimization, a wonderful company. And actually our guest here today is a client of Crescendo. So we like to promote our advertisers. Obviously, the happier they are, the happier we are, and the happier our listeners are, because we are able to stay on the radio. So welcome back once again. We want to welcome Elvia from D'Image Medi Spa. D'Image has several businesses, and we're going to be talking about the conglomerate group of D'Image. If you're wondering how that's spelled, it's D''IMAGE. So it's very hip and cool. It's D'Image.
Yes, it is.
So Elvia, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of work your way at the end of your discussion about who you are. What kind of brought you into creating this conglomerate of 4 or 5 businesses that have really become successful for you?
Well, thank you, Kurt, for inviting me to your show. It's just great to be here. I'm very honored to be here today. It's just a lot of information that I just learned in the last 2 minutes.
I actually saw you taking notes. I was pretty impressed.
I'm shaking my Facebook after here for sure.
That's right. You don't want to get charged, do you?
No, we don't. Nobody does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we started 6 years ago as a dream, opening a beauty school, and we started on the Hispanic community. That was our goal. We are a bilingual school, and it's just hard to start a business, really, and with an economy so bad in those years. And I think my fears wasn't so much economy; it was much as opening a new business and being excited about it, and thinking about how you're gonna make it happen. And if it doesn't work, what are you gonna do about it? You know, and
sure.
Yes.
What did you do before you started the businesses?
Before starting on a beauty school industry, I used to work on auto parts.
Wow, look at that. There's some time for dreaming.
Yes, there is.
I want out of here. Was that the common part of all the dreams? I'm kidding. I'm sure it was a great job.
It was an amazing experience because working with, for the most part, guys, and just pushing your buttons on the part that you don't know anything about cars, and growing your knowledge, and keep on learning from these people back then, and gave them 8 years of my life that I can't regret, because it was a great experience. I learned how to manage business. They showed me a lot on the way, and that's what makes me what I am today.
Absolutely. She now takes inventory, so anybody who comes by, don't think she's not going to miss the comb that you leave out of the beauty school with.
That's right. Definitely.
So I probably should give a little bit of an overview. D'Image has a cosmetology school. Is that the proper name?
Cosmetology school, yes.
Okay. They also have a barber school, which we're going to be learning the difference between that and what do you call the hair?
Cosmetology school, barber school, and also we have a med spa. So.
There we go. So cosmetology is makeup and hair.
We do makeup and hair. We basically focus on the whole family hair care services. We do haircuts. We also do color. We do perms. The only thing that differentiates cosmetology from barber is that on the barber side you can actually shave, do straight razor shave. I'm also a barber. I'm licensed barber also. So whatever I teach, I learn first before I pass it on.
Absolutely. So any of you who might be squeamish of somebody having a razor around you, Elvia is very trustworthy. She protects your neck.
It's fun to do. It's fun.
That's right. She loves the power and control that comes from that.
You can see some of the clients shaking on that part, but you know, we do the barber side. Our barber school is more on the old-fashioned type. We still do the warm towels, we do the shaving cream, and we do all the massage part that has to do with keeping the grounds of the barber board is required not only for our school but all around.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that how much care goes into facial hair. So it's not just that you go in and get clean shaven. Some people, I'm sure, do, but they also do a lot of sculpting of the facial hair. So, you know, some people who may want something that just goes along the profile of their chin, or
the designing part. We have very talented kids in our school. We put them on competitions not only with older schools but with barbershops around the area, and they have won some competitions. We recently won a championship in Las Vegas. We were in first place.
Wow.
And I'm very proud to say it because we were in first place. It was one of our girls and one of our instructors, and she ran in first place in Vegas. So
that's amazing. So
between 40 barbers around the United States, so it was fun.
Yeah, that is fun, and they are. I've actually met some of the students, and they're wonderful people. very humble, and because they're they're starting out, right? But but they have some talent. It's like finding Michael Jordan in there when he was still in high school. He didn't even make the basketball team, right? So it's a very similar thing, is that people are just starting off in beauty school and realizing the talents they have, and some very extremely talented.
Yes, they are. I mean, their practice in our school, in our program, it's 1,600 hours, so it's a long time. It's about a year, 20 months, so you go part-time. And the fun part of this is that the majority of their practice is in clients. So 90% of the time in our program, I won't say in all the schools, but in our program, it's with clients. We partner up with organizations around our community and offer free services, free haircuts, so that way our students have enough practice and they can see their growth when they start and when they finish their program, and then they're like, oh, we gotta find a new student now because he's graduating. So
you get attached, and it's like sending your kids off into the world every semester.
It's hard to let them go. You learn a lot from them too. It's just an amazing experience.
That's great. We want to again thank you for coming on the show, sharing a little bit about this. Before we go to break, what would you say? I was absolutely joking about dreaming. I remember when I graduated from high school, I worked in the coal yard as an intern engineer. They decided that they were going to humble me and put me in the coal yard to begin with, and I'm telling you, there was plenty of time for me to think and dream about the future. But what I'm not saying all your dreams happened while you were in the parts store, but what was the biggest thing that caused the dream of being able to create 3 or 4 pretty large businesses?
Well, you work for a company for so long, and I have learned a lot from these companies, and you can see what's going to happen after. You can get the job done, or you're too old, or you're too tired to do it, or you're running late again, and they're going to get rid of you or fire you. You have to plan, and I got to see that. It's sad to see somebody getting fired, and you're there, and you can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. And I think my vision was, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to be in their position, but I want to open doors for other people to come in and have a short-term career. And when I went back to school and got myself trained, I was just going at it, saying, well, when I'm done, what am I going to do? And I started opening my own beauty salon, which is a 3-station salon, and I got busy really fast on my referrals. My clients were all referrals, fill out my agenda, and stay busy. And one next thing you know, I needed to get some help, and I couldn't find the help. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go make this help, and I opened a school. I said, I'm going to train them. I want to train them the way I want them to work and to be successful. And thanks to that vision that I had at that time, our students graduate, and they have their own businesses. We can see them successful, and it's been a great experience. You learn every day.
Absolutely. I can tell the students are very happy when they're in there. So it's a combination of having the security of knowing that you own the business. You can't fire yourself as long as you stay in business, of course, which you've more than stayed in business, been very successful in what you do. We're going to learn what's created some of that success as we come back from break. And then also just the big heart of knowing that you're helping people get skills that will help them get a job in a down economy, and I think you've done a phenomenal job with that. So thanks again. And this is Kurt Wilhelm with the Social Universe on Voice America, and we're joined by Elvia from D'Image Cosmetology, Barber, and Med Spa. We'll be right back after the break.